dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
6:32 here. Good morning. I'm Dakota Makris. It is Friday, and we are jazzed for that. But Brandon, I'm like, well, I don't know. I guess you have a full day. I really don't have a full day.
I've got a full day.
You have a full day. I'll say a prayer for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't know why they didn't ask me to come out there to Archer Park. I'm kind of jealous, really.
Listen, we hadn't talked about that yet, but
No.
yeah, Archer Park tonight. I'll be over there checking out the Christmas lights live at 4 to 6:30. So come over and see me, and we'll be on Facebook a little bit.
If I come over, will you do a live interview with me?
Probably not.
Okay, whatever.
You get enough TV time as it is. All right, let's get into the forecast this morning, and you'll see it's a little bit on the chilly side, but temperatures are actually going the right direction this morning instead of going down. Still in the 20s in Clintwood, Jonesville, Hazard, and Manchester, along with Irvin and Ashland, but everybody else is in the 30s, and even Harlan overachieving there at 40. As you head out the door this morning, breakfast forecast, well, looking pretty good. Temperatures trying to split the difference, but the temperatures keep going up. So again, let's just call it 30. That'll split the difference right now, and then we'll start to head up a little bit more into the upper 50s as we head deeper into the day. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. 2 women were on the run from a South Central Kentucky jail Thursday morning. One of them has been caught. The women got out of a part of the Casey County Jail that's called a restricted custody center. It's a minimum security part of the facility, but what happened still caused a great deal of concern with school leaders. Our Phil Pendleton talked with the jailer and police about what took place.
The inmates were working in the kitchen area when they got out of an unlocked door around 4 o'clock Thursday morning.
I had a report around 5 a.m. this morning that they were seen here in the city limits, just about a block from here.
School leaders were concerned because buses were about to roll. They said they didn't want to risk an inmate getting on a bus, so they put the system on a 1-hour delay. The jailer said inmates Angela Mason and Chastity Burton were incarcerated for drug-related offenses and were allowed to be out in the community on work release.
Well, I think you should be concerned as far as armed and dangerous. We don't think they are armed and dangerous, but at the end of the day, they're still criminals.
Police say Mason was captured Thursday afternoon when she was spotted walking on Old Kentucky 70 West. Casey County jailer Tommy Miller told me that he did not really consider this to be an escape. He says that these 2 women were in a part of the jail that is not allowed to be locked, and he says both inmates were considered to be low-risk inmates that were allowed to be on work release. State corrections officials say the 2 were in the jail restricted custody center, which according to the state building code must have free egress or automatic time-delayed emergency release. Police did have some extra help, and they even mobilized a bloodhound.
At this point, we've got combined about 12 officers and deputies out on patrol now.
Police say they're not sure if the escape was planned by the 2 or if it was spontaneous. In County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, the sheriff says both women will face additional charges of escape first degree when caught. Kentucky is making changes to the state's juvenile detention centers. Governor Andy Beshear announced Thursday the state is creating a girls-only facility. They will transform the facility in Newport, that's in northern Kentucky, to all women. It comes weeks after the state police responded to the juvenile detention center in Adair County. A riot broke out in the maximum security area. The governor says they've seen crimes against girls in the riots.
While our female juveniles are in separate parts, and we attempt to make them secure parts of these facilities, that is not enough. We now believe that this is an essential step to protect these individuals.
Well, the facility will house girls ages 11 to 18 who are ordered by the courts to secure detention. Firefighters in one city are trying to figure out what caused a recent fire. It happened just before 12:30 Wednesday afternoon on South Main Street in Harlan near the Cash Saver grocery store. Well, when crews arrived on the scene, they tried to get inside to fight the blaze, but were told they had to retreat due to the possibility of a roof collapse. Officials tell WYMT one woman was living in the home at the time, but was able to get out safely. No injuries were reported, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Well, the town of Hayside, Virginia is wishing the best for its police chief. Earlier this week, the town posted on Facebook that Chief Bobby Edwards is leaving his position as he moves on in his career. Well, the Post said, quote, he was very instrumental in bringing the Hayside Police Department into the 21st century with his grant writing skills and technological advancement practices. The town thanked the chief for his many years of service. And now to some health news this morning. Well, doctors predicted it, and now it's coming true. Cases of the flu are shooting upwards just days after the Thanksgiving holiday. During COVID, cases of the flu took a dive because people were staying home and wearing masks. The virus is staging a big comeback this year. Reporter David Mattingly finds hospital officials are trying to get out in front of it.
As predicted, the Thanksgiving weekend resulted in a lot of people catching the flu. So many that waiting rooms are getting crowded and emergency room waits are growing longer.
Part of the challenge with that comes, as you have an increased number of patients, you extend waits. And we want to make sure that that access is easy and, as quick as it can be.
Norton Healthcare is hoping to prevent those long waits by educating the public on when to seek emergency care. Their 10 reasons to go to the emergency room are chest pain, stroke symptoms, loss of consciousness, major injury, seizure, severe shortness of breath, burns or wounds, shock, uncontrollable bleeding, and vomiting blood. In contrast, the list of reasons to go instead to your primary care physician or immediate care range from cough, earache, fever, flu, to rash or skin irritation, sore throat, urinary tract infection, or suspected broken bones. And finally, ailments that are best handled from home by phone or video care include eye, nose, and throat issues, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, skin rash, insect bites, and poison ivy, and urinary issues. It could be helpful advice at a time when Norton reports patients testing positive for flu at numbers 4 times higher than normal. U of L Hospital also reporting a rise in the week after Thanksgiving with 100 flu cases. It is unclear, however, how these numbers might predict a looming COVID spike, which takes longer for symptoms to develop.
I just can't really put my finger on how big a spike that's going to be. But I feel very confident that there will be a spike for sure.
Coming up on 640, we are tracking quiet conditions. I was trying to say 2 words at the same time, calm and quiet. Client conditions. All right, Pine Mountain, US 119 up in the Whitesburg area there on Letcher County side. We're looking pretty good, as you see the camera pointed there at the top of the mountain. Temperatures going up, 40 in Harlan, 22 Clintwood. That's your range this morning. A lot of 30s out there, getting closer to 40 in Williamsburg and Monticello this morning. So a contrast compared to what we usually have this time of the year because there's warm air coming in from the south, pushing those temperatures up. 58 this afternoon, maybe a little bit better, even with the cloud cover if we see those rain chances hold off for a little while longer. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. Still to come here on Mountain News this morning, shoppers report seeing more and more tip requests in growingly unusual places, leading to what experts are calling tipflation.